Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like you've spoken too much, said too much, or said the wrong thing? If you have, then you're in the right place, and this video might be for you. I used to do that all the time. I used to feel like I had all kinds of things to say, that my opinion was important, and that people needed to hear my opinion. And not only did they need to hear my opinion, but that I was right. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Maybe I'm right in my own ways, right? But that doesn't mean other people have to agree with me. And that's something I talk with people all the time about in my clinical practice and in my personal life. Is it's okay that we all have our own opinions, but that doesn't mean other people have to agree with us. And if you would have talked to me in my teenage years or my early adulthood, I probably wouldn't have agreed with that statement. See, I thought I had all the answers. And I work with clients who think that they had all the answers. But what that brings is more distress. And so if you are listening to this and you feel like you've been in distress because people don't listen to your opinion, then I would say today's message is for you. It took me a long time in my mental health journey and also the process of becoming a therapist to listen to wise people. And one of the most powerful and simple messages that was shared with me in my process of mental health and also being a mental health provider was never miss an opportunity, never miss a golden opportunity to shut up. Now, let me state that again. Never miss a golden opportunity to shut up. And I remember the first time I heard it, I thought it was so funny. And most people, when I share that principle, think it's funny because it is. It's like, I don't often think about the need to be quiet. I don't often think about the opportunity for me to shut up. I see, I used to be self-righteous, so there's my pup. I used to think other people needed to shut up, and the reality is I needed to slow down. I needed to be quiet. I needed to listen to people. And maybe listening to this, you can relate to that people aren't listening to you, right? Or maybe you feel like people aren't listening to you. But here's the reality is when you slow down and learn to be quiet in certain situations, you'll hear people better, you'll get along with people better, and people will be more likely to share with you what their experiences are. And so I would encourage in situations where you feel like you've got to get your point across or you feel like you know the answer, to take a deep breath, take the cotton out of your ears and put them in your mouth and listen to people. And I promise you this, you're going to hear so much more valuable stuff from people. And if you're not hearing valuable stuff from people when you listen and when you stop talking, then you need to get yourself around other people. And I'm a huge proponent of community, especially communities of people who are taking care of themselves. Because if you get yourself in those circles, you're going to live a fulfilled life. You're going to have more things to do. You're going to have more fun. You're going to find more like-minded people if you want to take care of yourself. And so don't underestimate the power of being quiet in a situation. And that doesn't mean, let me encourage here and let me kind of flesh this out, is that doesn't mean be a doormat. That doesn't mean that when you need to speak up for yourself and hold a boundary to not do that. It means that outside of the realms of standing up for yourself and speaking on your boundaries and your limits, then it's probably okay to listen. And especially, I'll give you an example. Here's where this works really well. If I'm in a situation with someone that I love or a friend or someone who's important to me, and they've done something that I don't like, and now I'm angry or resentful about the situation, the best thing for me to do is bite my tongue and basically shut up, right? Because if I don't, then I'm going to speak out of anger and I'm going to speak out of resentment. And so I'll give you this tool. And this one works for my clients. I've heard reports over 12 years that this tool works wonders. If you're in a situation and you're not sure if you should say something, you need to ask yourself these three questions. Should what I'm about to say, should it be said by me? Right? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said? And does it need to be said right now? If you don't have any of those three, does it need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? All right. I'm going to repeat that one more time because I think it's important to seep in. Doesn't need to be said. Doesn't need to be said by me. Doesn't need to be said right now. If you don't have those three, it's probably okay not to say it. All right. Another good rule of thumb, once you've asked yourself that question, is could it wait 24 hours? The thing that needs to be said, could it wait 24 hours and still be relevant? If it can, then it's best to wait that time frame and say it later. And I think if you implement those things, you'll keep yourself out of a lot of trouble. Now, that doesn't pertain to mundane things on the day-to-day. It doesn't mean walk around and be a mute. It means that when emotions are high and distress is high and situations are chaotic, that if you ask yourself, if I waited 24 hours, would this still be relevant? That'll be helpful because it'll keep you out of conflict in the moment. And if you ask yourself those three simple questions, does it need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? Does it need to be said right now? If you ask yourself those questions and you meet those criteria, then it's okay to say it. If you don't have all three of those, it's probably best to just be quiet in emotionally distressing times or times of high emotion or times of anger. You'll keep yourself out of a lot of trouble. And I think what I'll end on is this. Never miss a golden opportunity to shut up. You'll keep yourself out of a lot of trouble. If you're struggling with substance use, struggling with an unmanageable problem with illicit drugs or alcohol or any substance for that matter, I would encourage you to find 12-step recovery support groups. They're the people with the solution. They're the ones who are going to help you find lasting sobriety and long-term recovery. If you're a family member or a friend of someone who struggles with substance use, I would highly and deeply encourage you to look into the program of Al-Anon. They're the ones who have the answers to help you take care of you when your loved one is struggling with substance use. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, and that's all we got for this video. Take care.